everyone, welcome to Watch It Paint It. In this video I'm going to be basing one of these Death Guard Pox Walkers from Games Workshop Warhammer 40k. Well, that's a mouthful. Now this will actually be applicable to any miniature you like. If you like the base, you can stick it on anything. Don't think it has to be this exact miniature, and I don't know if it even matters what sort of basing you're doing. Warhammer 40k, I don't know, but this is what I've chosen to do because it's quick, it's cheap, it's easy. The best three things, and it's going to take this decent looking tabletop miniature to the next level, and that base is really going to make this one shine. It's going to be, and watch, quick, simple and easy. I'm going to start off with Army Painter's Oak Brown, and that's just going to be to coat this base. Now the only reason I'm doing this is just in case when I glue everything to the base anything just slips or misses slightly and you can see through and just see the underneath. And I think it's going to be a little bit better because I'm going to do a brownish base. It's going to be better if you look through and you see brown underneath, and it's going to really be unnoticeable once this is done, and that's just going to make it a lot easier. Now if you're not going to miss, you could skip this step because it's going to save you a little bit of paint, a tiny bit of time, and 10 minutes of drying time, which is the tedious bit because I'm going to have to sit and wait for this to dry, but I want to make it look as good as it can, and it's worth the teeny tiny bit of extra time. So I'll paint this completely up. I'll also do the rim of the base just because it'll make it easier to paint on top of later on. Don't worry if it's a little bit rough because we'll be gluing all sorts to the top, and it's just in case, just a bit layer of protection. Once the paint's dry, we're going to add some glue to the base. I'm going to be using Army Painter's Battlefield's basing glue. As always, everything I'm using in the tutorial, links will be in the description below, and there'll be links to hopefully Element Games, and that is an affiliate link, just to warn you. It doesn't cost you any more, but if you do buy from there, you will be supporting this channel, dun dun dun, and we will massively appreciate it. A teeny tiny bit of money goes to us if you buy from Element Games, and they do deliver worldwide and they're very competitive. Next, we need to spread this glue. Austin's recommended using a paintbrush, but I haven't got a cheap one to hand, so I'm just going to use this kind of spatula that I often use. And you want to spread this around the base. You kind of want it even, but it doesn't need to be. It can be lumpy and bumpy because the ground, especially this type of ground that I'm going to be doing, is lumpy and bumpy, right? So what does it matter? But roughly evenly spread, just so you get a bit of the basing stick everywhere. But that's why we also painted the brown in underneath, just in case it's a bit too thin or something like that, or some comes out. It's not going to detract from the look of it. If you get any round the lip, just wipe it up, probably at the end. But yeah, I'll go around and spread this glue evenly. Now, just to reiterate, do give it a good clean slash scrape slash wipe around the rim because we don't want the basing going down there. Let's tidied that up nicely with the glue semi-evenly spread. That'll do. Next, we're going to add the basing material, and for that, I'm going to be using Brown Battleground by the Army Painter, and it's as simple as popping off that lid. I'll just take him off the hobby holder, but I'll leave him on this because it's not going to be too bad. Just going to dig out a little ditch just so I don't throw this basing everywhere. Pop him in, and then just knock some of that basing over the top, all over where you've got the glue, just around the back as well so you guys can see. And that's it. Then pop him out and give him a little shake, a little tap. All the loose bits will fall off and go back in the box with no glue on them because that's why they're falling off. And that's it. That's the basing done. We're going to add some detailing because it makes it look infinitely more interesting than just a nice simple bit like that, but you could just stop there if you wanted. I'm going to use Gatehouse Gaming UK's Wildfire, and this is what they use for like scorched earth style, but it's just basically a bit of charcoal, but I find it paints up really nicely as rock. So I'm going to want a big chunky piece, I think, for this one, so something like that's going to do nicely, and I'm just going to plonk it somewhere on the base, maybe away from his shoe, because that's quite a nice bit of detailing. Which way around should I have it? So the only problem here is you can't get to the glue at the moment because it's under all of that, and you could just wait until this is dry and then super glue it on top, but I want it to be sort of slightly embedded into the rest of the basing material. So I'm just going to get my tweezers just to push down. I'm going to push down, wiggling it into the glue, and it's only going to catch slightly, but it'll do. and maybe not in this instance. Oh, all the other ones I've done have worked out. Here we go, I'm getting some traction now. So just get that in, just enough to glue it. If it does come off, just super glue it. But the main thing here is I've put a big dint in the rocks, and it now looks like it's actually sat in those rocks instead of just glued on top. I'm also going to add a tuft of grass, or maybe two, we'll see how it looks. And for this I'm using Army Painter again, Wasteland Tufts. I'm finding these really nice in this kind of rocky, dusty terrain. So we'll just pop one of these off, and again just working out where to put it. And I think I always like them sticking out from the rocks, but I'm scared this rock's not held in good enough, so I'll just put my finger on it. And I'm going to push that under the rock. Again, it glues itself, this stuff, but I'm pushing it into the glue a little bit too. That's, oh, I don't like that angle. That's like it's growing out of the rock. So I'm just going to rejig it a little bit and get it like it's out of the ground from under the rock. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. I think this rock's going to need some super glue afterwards, but let me just make sure the dint is in the right place. Looking nice. All the rest I didn't show you at the start, but I've got plenty of these practice ones done lying around, and not one of them didn't just glue down the first try. So it's not too difficult. Bit of a bad surface area on this rock to do it, but that'll do. And then again, it's just working out if you want another bit of tuft anywhere else. I think I won't on this one. I've got various ones. I'll spin them all at the end. You can have a good look at them all, but I think that'll do for this. Then it's just a matter of just tidying up around the rim again if you want to. So either pushing some of those rocks back on if the glue slid down, or just tapping them off, just tidying it up and then cleaning the model, keeping the base on the top, not the rim, because the rim's basically just to hold the miniature. I'm not making that part of the game in this instance. And once that's all dry and set in place, I'm going to use a little bit of Army Painter's Filthy Suit, and I'm going to dry brush that onto this fake rock that we've created. Now, that really pops out all of the grain, what would you call it, layers of this piece of charcoal. It really makes it one of my favourite pretend rocks to paint up, and I think it looks super cool, super poppy, realistic, beautiful. Basically, I absolutely love it, and that's all you've got to do. Just dry brush on some light grey, and if you want to pop it out more, get an even lighter grey, mix some white in with this and catch the top edges, and that'll just bring it out even further. I've now mixed in a load of white, probably 50-50, and I'm just going to carefully, very lightly now, dry brush the very edges of this, just to give it that extra level of poppy detail. Nice. Just catch a little bit through his legs. Not very much there. Wouldn't have much light there anyway, just in case you're looking from the other side and you want to see that there's a rock under there. It's a little bit more interesting. It's got a little bit of detail popping on it. That's it. That's that rock painted up. And we're already on the final step. I said it was super easy. Very cheap, very quick, very easy. And it's just painted in the rim. I always like to paint it black. Just bring your focus back to the actual miniature. In this case, the basing as well. This is Army Painter's Dead Black, or just matte black. I'm still using my zombie side kit, but yeah, it's basically it's just basically matte black. And I'm just going to paint around the rim and finish this off. Pick a rock that's going to behave, because I've done 5 of these and this is the only one. This is the sixth, and obviously with the one that I film struggling with.